Coming to you every week from no place in particular. It's the best, worst thing you've never seen. This is the Forever Road Podcast featuring Bosco. Find us on some great platforms like iHeart, Spotify, and even more as we keep growing. Now, pointed down that forever road, he's a music lover, a historian, and a connoisseur of the obscure. It's Bosco. Here on the Forever Road Podcast.
Welcome to what's going on, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Forever Road Podcast. Come to you live every week right here. I'm once again flying solo. Brother Turtle's still out, mending up, and of course, thoughts and prayers are still always with him. Hopefully, we'll see him in the chats. Got a lot to cover this week. Ooh, let me angle this a little bit. There we go. How about that? I ain't got my hat on this week. Got my Operation Tackle Box hat. By the way, let me go ahead and drop that. Operation Tackle Box, 501c3 nonprofit organization based out of Sonoy, Georgia. They're here to help our military veterans, our friends, family, loved ones, our brothers that have served in combat, healing through reeling, combat veterans helping combat veterans. On Facebook, you can find them on Facebook and on Instagram at Operation_Tackle_Box. They did their big side-by-side giveaway earlier this year, or late last year, sorry. And they're building another off-road community based off of their fishing expeditions that they do. Family-owned and operated team focused full-time on planning out fishing expeditions for the veterans, have full plans for helping veterans get whatever they need, GI Bill, VA claims, absolutely anything and everything Jacob and the crew can do, they will do. Jacob's a solid dude, man. Like I said before, whenever Brother Turtle got hurt initially in his motorcycle accident, I was there. I called him. I called Jacob. It was the first phone call I made after arriving to the hospital to see Turtle. But yeah, so many of our veterans suffer from PTSD. Taking these guys out, fishing, getting out in nature, touching grass, right? Getting out in nature, listening to the wildlife, the natural sounds and the melodies that nature can provide really does something to your senses. Helps calm everything down, man. So, and y'all know how we are about music and melodies around here. So I think nature has a natural soundtrack and has a beautiful soundtrack, rather. Yeah, nature has a natural soundtrack. Yeah, sounds really good. All right. Boy, I was on fire today. It's been a long day, man. I run around the house cleaning everything up, wiping stuff down, and it seems that whenever you clean one part, you look over and another part that you missed, and now you got to clean. You got to get a creeper in your house and lay down on the creeper and wipe down the baseboards. So that's the next mission. And my allergies are going crazy. So my voice, if I sound a little stuffy, y'all, I apologize ahead of time. I had a phenomenal last 2 weeks. Let's see. I know I was going to record last week and the week before. The week before, I was sick. I couldn't get in here. I had a very bad headache. I was going to record that Monday, but the last 2 weeks of work have been like long. We're getting into our busy season, a really busy season at work, and it's been the long 12 hours every day. Even I worked Saturday and Sunday, as a matter of fact. So, and then last weekend was my birthday, Went to the Allman Brothers Band Museum. Made my appearance. I always go up there every year on my birthday. And that's what led me to this episode. So I'm glad y'all are here. I'm glad y'all are listening. For our listeners, for our viewers on YouTube, thank y'all for following. Go ahead and click that like and subscribe on YouTube. Go on to Spotify, go into your settings, the little gear thing, the little, what is that, a cog? The settings menu, click automatic download. You don't have to set up the notifications. I know getting notifications on your phone all the time is a little bit aggravating. But go into your settings, click automatic download. It really helps out. I was doing some research and I kind of want to get this goal set up. I hope y'all share this stuff to your friends and anybody that wants to listen to podcasts or anybody wants to learn anything about music history, music and automotive history and culture. I want to hit 100,000 subs. I don't know. I really don't know how it's going to go. I noticed that my last two videos on YouTube, little short ones, have hit over 1,000 views. And I got really excited and I was like, wow, man. For me, I don't know how it is for anybody else, but for me, I think that's really cool. I'm very excited. Thank y'all very much for I'm gonna go over here and look now. The short video, matter of fact, I'm wearing the shirt now. I don't know if you can see it. It's live at Filmore East because last week was the anniversary of the Filmore East album being released. And also, it was that weekend that a year prior to Filmore East being released, because Filmore was recorded in March of 71. The release was July 6th of 71. Now, back date another year, back up a year prior, they were at the second annual Atlanta Pop Festival. But anyway, going back to the Operation Tackle Box, I know it's kind of all over the place. It kind of went down a rabbit hole. My bad. Go check out Operation Tackle Box. You go in there, get you some super sweet merch, like this hat. It says Operation. Got the arrowhead right there, and underneath it has Tackle Box. My shirt's in storage. I did find my hat, so at least I'll wear it. But hang on. Matter of fact, let's do one better. Or this was. There we go. There we go. How about that? But y'all go check out. You can even go on there if you don't want any hats or t-shirts. They got stuff for ladies and kids as well. If you don't want a hat or a t-shirt or anything like that, you can go on there and just simply donate and donate, and it's all. You can turn it in with your taxes. If you do the itemized tax stuff. But yeah, y'all go check out Operation Tackle Box. It really helps out our veterans, which we are super grateful for their sacrifices they made. So, donate, go help them out. They do charity events. They do stuff like that as well. So y'all go check those guys out. Give them a like and a follow on social medias. So moving on. And I was gonna look up. Let me see if I can get to my analytics. And I hope everyone had a great week. It has been hot. I hope y'all are staying safe wherever y'all are getting into. Told you. Allergies are crazy right now. YouTube Studio. There we go. I really don't have a clue what I'm doing right now. But as far as YouTube goes, thank you for our 78 subscribers. has really got me excited. Thank y'all very much. Um, yeah, the last video I did was me sitting in my truck wearing the same shirt. It was a week ago. Yeah, it was a week ago. Um, Backyard behind the Allman Brothers Band Museum. They released live at Filmore East. It was just a little recognition today in music history. And that video, where'd it go? 1,259 views since it was published. It's crazy. Thank y'all so much. I was like, I got how many views? So thank y'all. Thank you for watching this. Go on there and share these little short videos that I post. I haven't posted hardly none since this last week. It's been crazy, like I said, at work. Kind of hard to sit down for a minute and eat lunch and then shoot a video. I had to usually sit down, eat lunch, and then get right back on it. So I haven't had a chance to do my updated today in history, but I will. Hang on one second. Today in music history. I thought about this episode all week, man. Over the last 2 weeks, how I wanted to put this together because this is something that's very deeply important to me. I don't know any of these names. Okay, I didn't want to sneeze in the microphone, blow everybody's eardrums out. This day in 1996, Chet Atkins. Over 2,000 guitar players, including Chet Atkins and Jeff Skunk Baxter, set a new world record for the largest jam session ever when they played Heartbreak Hotel for 75 minutes at Nashville's Riverfront Park. The previous record was set in Vancouver, Canada on May 7th, 1994, when Randy Bachman led 1,322 amateur guitarists in a performance that lasted 68 minutes. That is 75 minutes. Heartbreak Hotel. That's a lot of heartbreak. Curtis Mayfield was badly injured after a strong gust of wind blew a lighting rig on him during an outside concert in Brooklyn, New York in 1990. Um, Hang on, I gotta fix this string on my hat. There we go. Let's see. Um, I don't really see like on the birthdays. Nope. Da, 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 da. There we go. Roger McGuinn from the Byrds. His was born today in 1942. If you don't know who the Byrds were, he was the only member of the Byrds to play on the hit Mr. Tambourine Man. The other in that song were session players. He toured Bob Dylan in 75, 76 as part of Dylan's Rolling Thunder Review. He later worked with fellow ex-Byrds Gene Clark and Chris Hillman to form McGuinn, Clark, and Hillman. David Allan Coe does a song. And he mentions, I know David Unco, um, and he mentions Roger McGuinn had a 12-string guitar. It was like nothing I'd ever heard. That's what he says. Let's see. But Roger McGuinn, born 1942. This date. Well, as far as that goes, nothing really happened on July 13th, did it? Let me look at this one. Today in country music history, I don't see. Uh, this day, 1990, Alabama released a song called "Jukebox in My Mind." I remember that song. The second single from the album, "Pass It On Down," which went number one on country charts. It became the group's 28th number one country hit. They had, I think, 40 number one, or maybe more. By after that album, I think there was an album that they dropped. It was just called 40, and there was like 40 number one hits. This day in 1991, Alan Jackson was at number one on the country singles charts with "Don't Rock the Jukebox." The lead single from the album, the same name, song received an award for Country Song of the Year in 1992. The off of the same album, "Love's Got a Hold on You" became his Alan Jackson's fifth number one single. I got to do an Alan Jackson episode. He was pretty good singer songwriter. Well, that's about all I got for as far as today in music history. Um, anyway, let's roll on. Let's roll on. Press on. Press on. So we're going to talk about first. We're going to talk about the Second Atlanta Pop Festival and how it all came to be and all the musical acts that were there. Between July 5th and July 3rd and July 5th, 1970, in this little country town called Byron, Georgia, which is about 15-20 minutes north of where I'm at. At a place called the right in a pecan field, sorry, soybean field next to the Byron Raceway. As a matter of fact, it is now known as a historical spot. There's a oh, I missed that. There we go. Keep the light on over here a little bit more. There we go. Byron. North Georgia Raceway is what it's called in Byron, Georgia. Um, it hosted. It was actually a legit NASCAR track, and we'll go into that part at a later date because it does have a big automotive significance. So the Middle Georgia Raceway is a raceway in Byron, Georgia. 9 NASCAR Grand National Series races were held at that track between 66 and 71. Richie Petty won 4 races. Bobby Allison won 3. David Pearson and Bobby Isaac each earned 1 victory apiece. It's a half-mile paved track. It opened in 1966 for $500,000. That's nuts. Anyway, so they set up Alex Cooley a year before in '69 does the initial inaugural. I think that's how you say that. He does the initial pop festival, and he, based off of the success of that, he gets the rights. He gets with his people. Alex Cooley was a big music promoter. He loved Southern rock as well. Matter of fact, oddly enough, later on in life, Alex Cooley himself would pass away in live while he was on stage. He actually, let's see, Alex Cooley's Electric Ballroom, Atlanta's legendary promoter. He passed away live on stage, which I think we need to do a cover of cover some of what he did, his life and things like that. I'm trying to think. Yep. He supported every band on the Capricorn record. Alex Cooley would pass away at the age of 76. So he put together the second annual Atlanta International Pop Festival in July of 1970. I'm trying to figure out. Where is it at? So it puts all this together, and I had the website pulled up earlier, and like a dummy, I X'd out of it. Who's in the chats? There's Tyler. What's going on, man? Welcome to the chats. I was going over Alex Cooley introducing the whole pop festival thing that happened in Byron, and we're going to go from there to talk about the Uncle Bill Graham's Filmore. God, I wondered, like, I listened to other podcasts, and there's one specific that caught my attention, but I realized when you're live, you kind of have this thought, you're going down this thought train, and suddenly it stops, you're hung up on a word, you can't think of whatever you're going to say next. And I'm like, man, why does he do that? And then now I'm doing it. I remember making comments about, a matter of fact, our good friend Eric Tansey. I'm like, he kind of stumbles on his words, and then you be in the middle of a thought process, and you're like, what was I about to say? Or either you mispronounce things like that, or you stutter, or something like that. But yeah, man, thanks, Tyler. I'm good. I've been working on the house, so my allergies are kind of screwed up right now. But so we got this legendary concert promoter. He believes in everything that come out of Capricorn Studios and fame at the time. I need to move that light. It's blinding me a little bit. I think that's a little bit better. There we go. Still see me pretty good? All right. So he gets with the raceway officials, and let me pull up the set list, and I had everybody right here. All right. Let's see. We're worried about the 69 festival. There's a 70 festival. Tickets are priced like 69's Woodstock Festival. This event was promoted as 3 days of peace, love, and music. Tickets were priced at $14. I mean, and then if you listen to this list of that I'm about to tell you, over 30 acts performed on the main stage during the course of the event. Y'all ready for this? The Allman Brothers Band, Ballin' Jack, Blood Rock, Bloomsbury People. Some of these I've never heard of, but I'm going to mention them anyway. Cactus, Cat and Mother, and the All Night Newsboys. Chakra, the Chambers Brothers, I've heard of them. Goose Creek Symphony, Grand Funk Railroad, Gypsy, Mississippi, Memphis State University cast of Hair. Hey man, I didn't make up the list. I'm just repeating it. Hampton Grease Band, which is Colonel Bruce Hampton. Handel, Richie Havens, Hedge and Donna, the Jimi Hendrix Experience, which if y'all been following for a little while, we covered the Jimi Hendrix, his life a couple of episodes ago. Matter of fact, Brother Tyler and whoever else is listening, this is episode 70. Yeah, we're set. We got 30 more to go. I got something big planned for episode 100, so y'all hang with me. Where did I leave off at? Jimi Hendrix. Okay, It's a Beautiful Day. Johnny Jenkins, which we'll cover him. BB King, we got to cover him too. Lee Michaels, Mott the Hoople, which I think is just the funniest name for Mountain. If you know the song Mississippi Queen, I don't know if it's called Paco or Poco. I guess it's Poco. That's funny. Procol Harum. Proco. Yeah, sure. We'll try that. Radar, Rare Earth, Terry Reid, Rig, Savage Grace, John Sebastian, Bob Seger with his band System. The band called Spirit. 10 years after Johnny Winter, U.S. Kids. I know Janis Joplin was there. 10cc, Creedence Clearwater Revival was there as well. Among artists billed in various promotional materials and programs, but who did not perform. Captain Beefheart, Ginger Baker's Air Force, Teos, Jethro Tull. These folks didn't show up. Country Joe and Fish. Well, if they didn't show up, then they don't matter. Sly and Family Stone should have been there. Oh well, didn't show up. You don't matter. Not long after the festival, little-known country singer Paul Wilson recorded a song called "Hippie Invasion" about what he considered to be this seamier side of the festival crowds. It was released on the 45 on the album Country Town Records in 1971. Saving Grace, one of the bands who performed at the festival, released their second album, Saving Grace 2, which contained a song called Macon, Georgia. They had written about some of the festival experiences. Columbia Records released a triple LP called First Great Rock Festivals of the 70s. Now, I will say this. I have seen video. Oh, man. I mean, there's a poster. There's now is a historical marker. I'll ride out there. I meant to do that over this weekend, but I never got back out towards Byron. Um, I never got back out towards Byron. And I wanted to go up there by that raceway and take a picture and at least a video for those that follow us on YouTube. So for those who are listening, if you'll go on to YouTube, you can actually see video of the stuff I'm talking about, like the Allman Brothers Band Museum, Rose Hill Cemetery, the Byron Raceway. Here in a couple months, which I've let's see, 2 more months around this same time, I'll be in Bowling Green, Kentucky in September for Mo Party. So anybody's listening or our viewers, if you want to meet me in Bowling Green, Kentucky and hang out for 2 or 3 days, I'll be there. Matter of fact, I believe Holly Mo Party is actually follows my Facebook page, Forever Road Podcast Facebook page. So I'm excited about that. I think it's pretty cool. Which Tyler, on YouTube as well, is about the only time I really see you, man. The video I shot last year from Mo Party, it got over 1,246 views, I think. And the one I did a week ago from the big house did about the same. So anyway, but that was last year's video. It was just me sitting in the bleachers videoing these new Chargers just ripping up through the S course. It's really cool. So I will be there in 2 months. I can't wait. So this festival they laid out is in a soybean field next to the racetrack. The field isn't there anymore. They put houses there, and the track got shut down later on because of due to noise complaints. Well, I mean, you bought a house near a racetrack, dummy. I'm sorry. I'm going to vent on this for a second. I don't care about what do they say? Progress. Go build your house somewhere else. What happens? They build a house or a neighborhood near a racetrack, near these racetracks. And of course, it's the farmers and whoever sell the property to these developers. And then noise complaint. Then the county, whoever comes out there, and it's not even in the city limits. It's out in the county. It's out in the country. That's where racetracks are supposed to be, away from people. So initially, it's just like Silver Dollar. Silver Dollar's on the other side of me. You got Byron Raceway over here. Silver Dollar drag strips, 15 minutes that way. Anyway, which can be also seen on Finnegan. Just accept your house is next to a right. Just accept your house, and and if you don't like it, then move. Exactly. Thank you. Some old Karen, hey, little Timmy can't sleep. You bought a house next to a racetrack. I mean, whose fault is that? So then you have people up on the street racing. Guess what? Car culture will never die. Don't care how bad EV wants to push, how bad the federal government or Elon, and we ain't got to get into political. That's not what we do here. But I will state that no matter how bad y'all want it to go away, it's been here since after World War II. Since we discovered we can build stuff at home and go fast. In a lot of cases, build stuff at home and try to go fast. You know, the automotive scene, the car culture, no matter if you're imports, hot rods, off road, don't matter what it is, don't build your houses near racetracks. then complain when the racetracks get shut down. Then they complain, well, they've been racing up and down the interstate. They've been racing up and down the highways. Well, yeah. Where else are they going to race at? You shut down, you complained about it. So little Zach Chattington can't sleep at night. Anyway, that's my rant. That's where I'm going to leave that. So let me take a swig. Almost like one more and I'm out of here. But about racing, huh? I mean, didn't they race chariots over in Rome or something? Since the man made the wheel, we've been trying to see how fast we can get. Yes. Thank you. Oh, my wheel goes faster than your wheel. I bet you 3 shells. What's up? I got these nice shiny rocks. I'll bet you these 3 nice shiny rocks and my wheel goes faster than your wheel. then they made chariots and is it actually 1 horsepower? You got like 1 horse on the chariot? Right? And Tyler in the chat, and for the others of you who are listening, this is the part that I really do enjoy is engaging with the chats, going back and forth. Tyler says, "I got 3 wheels. Watch me go, or watch me go." There's a lot of anyway. So, and if I can, I'd have to look back and find my pictures. I got some pictures from inside the raceway, which we'll cover on automotive. Maybe I'll cover that next week. That's what we'll do. We'll talk about Byron Raceway just because it kind of correlates with everything this weekend. So next episode is going to be about Byron Raceway. So the cool part about the Byron Raceway, and I'll leave, and we'll stop with is on September 15th, 2012, a ceremony was held near the site of the second festival, and there's a big historical marker. Let's see if I can pull it up. The bigger part about this whole, there it is right there, about these 2 albums. So in the 1960s, American culture changed rapidly. This is what the marker says for you listening. And Tyler can see it. For those of you who are watching, that's why I pulled it up right here. Erected by the Georgia Historical Society, the Byron Era Historical Society, the Georgia Allman Brothers Band Association, which I'm a lifetime member of, the Allman Brothers Band Museum at the Big House, which is where I was, and Hitting the Note. I remember being there when they unveiled this marker. In the 1960s, American culture changed rapidly. New forms of music and performance emerged, including large outdoor rock festivals. From July 3rd to July 3rd through the 5th, 1970, the second Atlanta International Pop Festival, one of the largest such events anywhere in the world during that era, took place in a field 600 yards west of that spot. Over 30 musical acts performed, including rock icon Jimi Hendrix playing to the largest American audience of his career, and Macon's Allman Brothers Band on their launching pad to national fame. Officials estimated that the festival drew several 100,000 young people to Byron that weekend. Organized by renowned Atlanta concert promoter Alex Cooley, it remains one of the largest public gatherings in state history. That was a rough festival. It was hot. Now, you can go on YouTube and find it yourself. There is videos of, folks smoking a little left-handed cigarette, a little Tide stick, whatever you want to call it. But some of the best music came of this festival. Not even Hendrix playing the Star Spangled Banner as just before the moon or the sun warmed up the sky, you know. But Janis Joplin and Bob Seger playing. Can you imagine that, paying $15 to see all these acts? The Allman Brothers Band, Hendrix, Joplin, Mountain, belting out. What was his name? Leslie West with that voice from the band Mountain. Belting out Mississippi Queen. God. Of course, times were different back then. Your pay scale and all that was a little different. $14 was a lot of money, right? Sure, we'll go with that. Yeah, I think what were wages, hourly wages back in 1970? In 1970, I wish I had a producer. Kind of back, it's $1.45 an hour. Was adjusted for inflation, $1 in 1970 is good. So $7.14 is what the equivalent of that was. Oh, wow. Tyler said $3. $1. Man, are you kidding me? $1.45? No, not me. I don't know well, things were different back then too. You could actually, I think, let's see, price of a Coke. All right, before I look, I'm going to click over here. Tyler, what's your guess of the price of a Coke in 1970? Without Googling it. Oh, how much was a Coke? Well, see, that depends. All right. So Coke was like 10 to 15 cents. Let's see. One of my favorite cars, 1970 Dodge Charger RT. Price in 1970. Of course, now you get all your ads. I got to reword it. Hang on. All right, I'm going to have to pick a different car. I tried Googling a price of a 1970 Dodge Charger just because that's, let's see, 1970 price of a Dodge Charger. This is dumb. I'm not even using Google. It's another search engine. Anyway, milk was 62 cents a gallon, right? Coke was 10 to 15 cents a piece. Gas was 36 cents. And it was leaded. I think the unleaded stuff came after 72, 73, maybe. No, after 74. So yeah, gas was a lot different. Matter of fact, kind of reminds me of something. Today I walked into a, you don't have huddle houses up in Canada, but for those who listen in there, especially if you're in the South, have you ever heard of huddle house? It's kind of in competition with Waffle House. There's a huddle house in a town called east of here called Warner Robins, and they it looks like 1970s. I mean, wood panel walls and the seat. It looked like it's frozen back in that time. As far as like the decor, um, food was good. I had some cheese grits and eggs and bacon and coffee. So I had to go into town to go get something. And lead. They actually do make a lead additive to add to your fuel or oil for the valves for older vehicles. Um, yeah, they make a something, they call it a lead additive. I doubt it's a lead additive, but I mean, of course, I don't know. I don't know what the stuff's made of. Um, so we're gonna run down this set list for the second Atlanta Pop Festival albums. Allman Brothers Band. Well, we covered the pop festival. I mean, it's 3 days, like I said. Now we're gonna go on to Fillmore East. Live at Fillmore East. There is a Fillmore West, or there was a Fillmore West. Now Bill Graham was the one who started this whole thing. Bill Graham kind of adopted the brothers and helped promote them in a big way when they were starting out. Bill Graham, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, he was a yes, he was a German born. I don't remember if his real name was actually Bill Graham. They call him Uncle Bill Graham. Bill Graham, not to be confused with Billy Graham, the Baptist minister. Here, we'll turn my hat up. This was a hat that when my sister and brother's dad, when he passed away, this was still wrapped up in that clear plastic stuff he got from, it's part of his uniform from the Air Force, man. And I said I wanted it. They were going to toss it, man. I was like, nah, hold up, I want that. So I grabbed it, and obviously, see, I play with it. I wear it when I'm cutting grass or just messing around or whatever. I like to go fishing, and I'll wear it. But yeah, because that's what he liked to do. He liked to go fishing. So yeah, this is my Andy Air Force hat. Still think about that dude all the time, man. Okay, so Bill Graham. Bill Graham was born Wolf. Well, oh, Lord, let me try to say this. Wolf Wolodia. Groyanka. So he changed his name to Bill Graham. January 8, 1931. He passed away October 25th, 1991. He was a German born American um, impresario and a rock concert promoter. The early 60s, he moved to San Francisco. Began to manage the San Francisco mime troupe. Teamed up with local Hyatt Ashbury promoter Chet Helms to organize a benefit concert. Promoted several free concerts. Eventually turned into a profitable full-time career. So Bill Graham, like Alex Cooley in that sense that he's the big music promoter, especially when Southern rock was hitting it big. He was born January 8th, 1931, Berlin, Germany. He was the youngest child, only son of lower middle class Jewish parents. They immigrated to. Oh, my screen is going crazy. Who had immigrated from Russia before the rise of Nazism. And got the nickname. His family nicknamed him Wolfgang early in life. So they moved him. He was placed in a Berlin orphanage, and they sent him to France and a pre-Holocaust exchange of Jewish children for Christian orphans. His older sisters, Sonia and Esther, stayed behind with their mother. After the fall of France, we'll have to cover him, Bill Graham, too. That looks like an interesting story for real. All right. So I had to put that on the list. Bill Graham, Alex Cooley. But our next episode is Byron Raceway. Then we'll do Bill Graham and Alex Cooley. Anyway, I never really plan things out. I just write them on a list and do research as the week, as the week and workload permits. So we got. Anyway, we'll go down that list later on. So Bill Graham gets the brothers, gets them at Filmore East, which is in New York, right? Closing nights, live at Filmore East. Now, this album in of itself is actually in the Library of Congress to have, because of the cultural impact that it made on society. Some of the best live music that has ever been put to record. I mean, I've listened to this album hours and hours and hours, over and over again. I know the lineup, I know the change or the change ups. I know, there's different little snippets, especially if you listen to this album with just headphones on or earbuds in, put on noise canceling and just listen. I've cut grass listening to live at Filmore East. I've taken road trips, hit start when I pulled out the driveway and just ride out, man. Some of it's actually really, it's really deep. It's really, really deep stuff. So I'm going to go over this album in itself because last week was the release of it. It's in 1971. And there's a song, dear God, on this album. It's called Mountain Jam. But we'll go down this. Okay. So, like I said, it was recorded March 12th, 13th of 1971, released July 6th, 1971. Genre, blues rock, southern rock. So the brothers had put together their first initial album, self-titled. And then they did the second one. It's called Ottawa South. And then this is the third one. Dwayne and Phil Walden approached him and was like, listen, music's for the people. And we need to get out there and we need to release a live album. The crazy part about it, what's going on, Brother Chris? There he is. The crazy part about it, we're just sitting here talking about live at Filmore and how it came about and the songs itself. We're going to go too in depth, and I hope y'all go out there and listen to it yourself. Live at Filmore East. If you haven't really listened to it, dig into it. Let it grab a hold of you and do something It's almost spiritual, really. It really is. Um, so prior to going out to up to New York to record this, and this is also kind of coincides with a lot that happened right there before Dwayne and Barry died in 71, 72, respectively. So they approach Phil Walden approaches Capricorn Atlantic, and he's like, "Listen, music's for the people. We need a live album to." They believe that they need a really good live album to reach out to those who can't afford to see them live. And we're talking about the early '70s, and we just, y'all heard me just go over what people were making per hour. Good Lord, I thought seven something an hour when I was working at Kroger was a joke. Um, imagine, imagine working for sweating your ass off for $1.50 an hour in some places back in the early '70s. No, not me. I ain't gonna kill myself for $1.50 at a Snickers bar, man. Um, so they get up to Filmore, and like I said, Out of Wild South had yet to achieve this strong commercial success, but the popularity and the reputation of the band were, especially their live concerts, it began to grow. Um, they played continuously in the '70s, over 300 dates on the road, traveling in this old beat up van, the Ford Econoline van, as a matter of fact. And there's some stuff, and I got some special stuff coming down about the Allman Brothers Band, the big house, and all that, and hopefully working something soon for an episode on coming up soon. So they've been struggling with drug addiction. Everybody in the group, um, and they were also struggling to make a living. Excuse me. So they go down. They get up to New York. Um, The brothers had played the Fillmore East in December of '69, opening for Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Bill Graham joined them and promised to have them back. January '70, they opened for Buddy Guy and BB King in San Francisco, Fillmore West. That's actually an album as well. So there is two coinciding albums together, Fillmore West, Fillmore East. Fillmore West sounds a little bit more raw, I guess. Not they were just getting into that polished, as everybody knows them now. They're just getting into that polished Allman Brothers sound and that groove. They're feeling each other. They're working really that which not to really say anything, but from the get go, the brothers were really they already knew how to work very well with each other. The different sounds, because you had with Butch, you have this drummer who's a traditional freight train, you know, and that's what they called him, freight train, Butch Trucks. And you had JMO, who was more of a jazz. He had played with Percy Sledge and Otis Redding. You know, JMO was a more jazz drummer. So you had those two complementing each other. And then you had Dwayne and Dickie Betts playing off of each other. But also Greg over to the right on the Hammond B3 organ on the keys, right? And of course his soulful voice bringing in, and we're talking about also the fact that Barry playing off of what Butch and JMO are doing, and his best friend right there to his right, Dwayne. So they're all, they're polishing, they're working on their sound, they're working on redefining it, polishing everything, sanding down the hard, rough edges, and getting everything smoothed out. Well, they start coming down with this music, and I mean, it for me, it almost probably could define the soundtrack of my life. You know, I'm not going to go into the weeds, into the rabbit hole too far into the album itself, reading off of Wikipedia or stuff like that, except for the fact that, like, Statesboro Blues. Statesboro Blues was written by Blind Willie McTell. I'm going to have to do an episode about him later on. But Blind Willie McTell is actually from Statesboro, Georgia. They do a Blind Willie McTell festival every year in Statesboro, which I've missed it. I need to go down there and check that out. Actually, do some live or some short videos. Done somebody wrong. You know, these are these essential blues, these blues standards in my brain that the blues pioneers laid down. And then the Allman Brothers just pick them up, tweak them a little bit, polish them out, and they make them, in a sense, they make them their own. Nodding, and not to take away from the original, but nodding to the ones who've done it before them. Stormy Monday is another phenomenal song. Stormy Monday is this is the track listing, so we're going to run this down, and I'm going to tell you exactly what all this stuff means to me anyway. Stormy Monday, I mean, just a straight up blues song. If you really like, I mean, it really Done Somebody Wrong is a little bit more up tempo. You got Stormy Monday, followed up by on side 2, You Don't Love Me, which is a 19-minute song. It was written by Willie Cobbs. Willie Cobbs, American blues singer, harmonica player, and songwriter, is best known for the song You Don't Love Me. Hotlanta, 5 minutes. It's Dwayne, Greg, Dickie Betts, Butch, Barry, J-Mo. It's just an instrumental, just straight jamming. You know, beautifully done, Hotlanta. In Memory of Elizabeth Reed was written by Dickie Betts. There's a lady that was buried in Rose Hill Cemetery at the bottom, the very back. Dickie Betts wrote that as he was kind of venturing. The brothers would actually go to Rose Hill Cemetery a lot and write a lot of these songs. Hang on real quick. Because of the peaceful, you know, it was very quiet and peaceful. Of course, back in the day it was. Lord have mercy. All right. I was just wondering if it was something important. It's not. Brother Derek sending me crazy texts. Y'all go follow him, as a matter of fact, over Bad Dog Health and Fitness. So going on, like I said, they would go to Rose Hill Cemetery. I've done a few short videos, clips of the Allman Brothers graves right there in Rose Hill. Followed up on side 4 of the original Live at Filmore West album is followed up by a 22-minute, 40-second cut of the song Whipping Post. Now, if you listen to Whipping Post, I mean, good Lord. It's Whipping Post. It kind of takes off like an original cut, like what you would hear on the studio album, but it kind of takes off and ventures off into, it takes you down this little emotional roller coaster for a little bit, and then kind of comes back around. There's a deluxe version. There's like 4 LPs. Filmore, yeah, an extended version of the Filmore East. It includes other set. It includes the original songs, and then 2 other cuts from Eat a Peach that were on the tail end of the Eat a Peach album their fourth album after Filmore. Trouble No More, Mountain Jam, Don't Keep Me Wondering, and Drunken Hearted Boy. Now, there's one right there in the middle. There's a part, and I'm going to give you all some homework on this. And a matter of fact, I wish I could cut it out, figure out how to cut it out myself and add it. But there's a part in Mountain Jam, this Dwayne's solo. If you love beautiful guitar playing, about the tail end of minute 27, 27 and a half, somewhere in there. Yes, the song is 32 minutes long. Live. So Mountain Jam. So right there, minute 27, 27 and a half, goes into Dwayne's solo. And it's some of the most emotional, beautiful guitar playing I've ever heard in my life. Now, I love Derek Trucks. I love Steve Ray Vaughan. And I love Derek Trucks playing on slide. Derek refined it. Oh, but there's one section of Mountain Jam that just seriously. They finally went back and remixed this Filmore concerts in '92. Like I said, added those 4 songs. The album was remixed from the concert recordings, and a few songs are alternate takes. So the same songs sound somewhat different from those on the original album. Statesboro Blues. If you don't hear them opening chords of Statesboro Blues, I want to play a little bit of it. Let's see if I can get it by with just a little bit of 10-second snips. Good Lord, some of this great music. Let's see. Looks like the One Morning I'm Out of Here guys are live right now too. Oh, that explains a lot. That's why Tyler bounced. Okay. Let's see. If you don't hear the opening chorus of Statesboro Blues, and it doesn't do something, then something's wrong with you. Let's see. I'm gonna at least play a little bit for you. All right. I'll share this thing for you. Uh-oh. Here we go. You ready?
Okay, the Allman Brothers Band.
All right, don't want to get in trouble. But there, yeah. If y'all don't hear that, and it doesn't, man, if you don't get your feet moving. So like I said, the Statesboro Blues, Done Somebody Wrong, Stormy Monday, just straight up, just blues, man. Y'all ready for this?
We're going to play this old Bobby Blair song for you. Actually, it's a T-Bone Walker song.
Take some 15 minutes to do it. It takes some 15, 20 minutes to start an intro. Come on, Greg, let's get on with it. Now, if you go back and look at the album cover itself, I've got it up on the screen here, and I'll take some more pictures and post them on our Instagram. There's this picture. It looks like it's supposed to be in New York in an alleyway somewhere like that. And if you go to the big house, and I'll get pictures of it at some point. If you go to the big house, they got this somewhat set up. just like this setup behind the big house back in the backyard. And they did this setup, put all the gear, the boxes, and all that, and had them all take a picture for the album cover. Well, it's supposed to look like it's New York City in some alley somewhere, but it's not. It's outside of Capricorn Studios, right there in the alley in Macon, Georgia. So, yeah. Anyway, but yeah, so y'all go check this album out, man. Go check out the Atlanta Pop Festival album. Go find that one section. Now, there's a little bit of addition, like I said, the Live at Filmore East Deluxe Edition with the extra 4 songs added with Hotlanta. Again, Whip and Post, Greg Allman. This is the second show, March 13th. Mountain Jam, 33 minutes and 41 seconds. And Drunken Hearted Boy with the Fooled Around and Fell in Love, Elvin Bishop. So yeah, it's a phenomenal song as well. Just added there to the tail end of the whole, to wrap the whole thing up. Beautiful songs. And like I said, man, I have spent hours riding around with buddies, because we wanted to live that lifestyle, man. We wanted to be long-haired, freaking play. Nobody can play any instruments. I'm a half-ass guitar player. I like playing them. I won't play them on here for y'all. I love y'all, but I'm not going to do that. But I like to pedal. I like to jam out. Me and Bubba will get in here and we'll jam out every once in a while. But this music it really, you're like, man, y'all, I just wanted to bring this episode to y'all, let y'all listen to the music yourself. Let y'all experience, maybe, bring it to attention of, I can't explain it. I really can't, but if y'all could just listen and hear it, and if you can hear it from here instead of here. Anyway, that's all I got. Y'all, please go check out Operation Tackle Box at operationtacklebox.org. Go give them a donation. Buy you some super sweet merch, man. Continue prayers for Brother Turtle and his recovery. Y'all come follow me on Facebook. Come follow me on Instagram. Find me on Forever Road Podcast at gmail.com. I will see y'all next week. I hope y'all have a great week. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. It's hot. I got to get out here and do some more work. I'm not looking forward to it. We'll give y'all some updates on Little Martha 2, my Ram Charger, and that build as we progress. But I hope y'all have a great week. Next week, we're going to talk about Byron Raceway. Hopefully I can get access. I wonder if I can get access to the track to shoot a little live video from there. But the race history and all that stuff that went down there at Byron Raceway, we'll get on there and talk about that next week. Brother Chris, thank you for joining in the chats. Tyler, as usual, thank y'all very much. Everybody else, I hope y'all have a great week. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Be careful. Don't work too hard. It's not worth it. I love y'all. Oh, Lord, I lost my place. I love y'all. Peace.
Thanks for riding with us on the FRP, the Forever Road Podcast, with Bosco. You can find and follow us on Instagram and Facebook, or drop us a line or question anytime at foreverroadpodcast@gmail.com. See you next time right here on the Forever Road Podcast.